Ajnanatimarandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chaksurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this evening, because we're going to have an initiation, so we're going to speak about the 10 offenses in chanting the holy name. It is customary, when Srila Prabhupada would give initiation, he would speak about the 10 offenses. Actually, the whole initiation, we call it Diksha. So Diksha means the process by which we awaken transcendental knowledge and we remove sinful reactions. Those two things take effect with initiation. Of course, it doesn't mean that right at that time of the initiation, like tonight, that the whole thing will happen. No, it's going to take some time. But the Diksha is the beginning. It's the beginning of that process of awakening transcendental knowledge and getting free from sinful reactions. So when we give the initiation, we request the devotees, what are the 4 regulative principles which you're going to follow. And these 4 regulative principles, they're standard for all the devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement. We encourage everyone to follow these 4 principles. And these 4 principles, they come from the Shastra. It's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first canto, it describes about the personification of religious principles is in the form of a bull. And the bull stands on 4 legs. And the 4 legs represent the pillars of religion. So the bull is traditionally Dharma. So Dharma stands on 4 legs, and the 4 legs are cleanliness, mercy, austerity, and truthfulness. Or Satyam, Socham, Daya, Tapa. Right? Satyam, truthfulness. Socham, cleanliness. Daya, mercy. Tapa, austerity. So these 4 principles of religion, they relate to the 4 regulative principles which we're making a vow at the time of initiation. We make a vow to follow these 4 principles. Satyam, truthfulness. So, truthfulness is destroyed by lying propaganda. Especially you do things like gambling, It encourages people to cheat and lie. So these things are not encouraged in Krishna consciousness. And then Socham, cleanliness is important, and cleanliness is not only external but also internal. So external cleanliness, of course, means regularly bathing, and internal cleanliness is achieved by chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. It's important for us. We want to clean the heart, and we can do it by chanting the Maha Mantra. So we'll talk more about the Maha Mantra in a minute, but just want to explain the 4 principles, which are also important and which are from the Shastra. So, no gambling, no socham, no illicit connection with the opposite sex. And daya, mercy, means no meat eating, no meat, fish or eggs. And of course in Krishna consciousness we also don't want people to eat onions and garlics. And people may say, well, that's vegetables, why can't we eat onions and garlics? But you have to understand those things are very much in the mode of passion. and they increase, they stimulate the passion in the body. We already have a lot of passion in the body, and if you take a lot of onions and garlics, you just simply increase the passion. So also we should understand onions and garlic are not in the mode of goodness. As devotees, we want to associate with the mode of goodness. And onions and garlics, these things are very much in the mode of passion and ignorance. It is said garlic grew out of the dead cow. So it's not a very pleasant thing, you see. So we don't offer things like onions and garlics. And that's one reason why devotees, we don't encourage devotees to you don't encourage devotees to go into vegetarian restaurants, because although the restaurants may be vegetarian, they're serving onions and garlics. It's very common here. People are very much fond of onion and garlic. They feel there's no taste without onion and garlic. But actually, if you know how to use spices, then you can make very tasty dishes. And we do have some very expert cooks in the Krishna consciousness movement. The Krishna consciousness movement, and we're sometimes called the kitchen religion, and people are very expert in cooking. So, mercy is an important quality, and mercy is destroyed when we take things like meat and fish and eggs. So any kind of seafood is not sattvic, it's not the mode of goodness. That's all. Mercy, Hare Krishna, and then Satyam, Socham, Daya, Tapa. Tapa, austerity. It sounds a little frightening. Tapa, what is this austerity? What is it you have to do to be austere? Austerity is destroyed by pride. We become very proud. The false ego becomes very strong, and we lose humility. So it doesn't help us to cultivate the good qualities which we want to do. Maybe you can go outside. You can go outside. Take her outside. You can hear the recording. So, tapa, austerities. What is this austerity? I'm saying we have to give up pride. And of course, another problem which destroys austerity is intoxication. Intoxication. Well, pride is a kind of intoxication. We become proud, it's an intoxication. But then there's also other kinds of intoxication like alcohol, drugs, and even things like Coca-Cola and tea and coffee. They have caffeine. These things are all in the category of intoxication. And we don't encourage devotees to take these things. So keeping these principles, austerity, mercy, cleanliness, and truthfulness, is upheld by our four regulative principles. We ask the devotees to make the vow: no meat, fish and eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And these are the four principles, and in order to help us keep these four principles, we have to make a vow also to daily chant the Maha Mantra, 16 rounds minimum. That's minimum rounds. And ideally, it should take about 2 hours. You should be prepared to give about 2 hours for chanting the the holy names, to chant the Maha Mantra. We need to chant every day as well. It's not something which we take a day off. You know, people like to have days off when you're working in the jobs and so on. You want days off, you want holidays. But in chanting Hare Krishna, there's no days off. There's no holidays. We have to do it every day. And it's very important for us, for our spiritual life. Our spiritual life will blossom the better we chant the Maha Mantra. Quality is important in chanting the Maha Mantra. We need to try to have some quality in calling the holy name. So there are 10 offenses which are there in chanting the holy name. If you listen to the morning program, every morning here in Dubai, they do Mangal Arti, you know, over at 607, Aline Center there. We have the morning program there, and very nice. Every morning, devotees they sing the morning songs. You can hear the morning program in Damodardesh. We need to take advantage of these things. You know, we don't have any real center, but it's all put on the Zoom. I think some kind of web page, webcam. You can watch every morning devotees doing the morning program, and you can also join in. Although you're at home, you can also join in. And so we do the Mangal Arti, and then we also say the 10 offenses. And after the Mangal Arti, we will recite the 10 offenses and chanting the holy name. And devotees are expected to know these 10 offenses. Just like before initiation, the devotees have to complete what's called the ISKCON disciple course. A disciple course, it's going on in different languages, usually like Hindi and English and Tamil. We do it all over the world. It's presented all over the world, in Russian and Chinese and all the different languages. The devotees, they all have to attend. Before initiation, they have to hear the disciple course, and they have to learn about the 10 offenses from chanting the holy name. We have to learn the 10 offenses because quality is important. Right? We want to get the benefit of chanting the holy name. It's said that if we chant with offenses, then we'll never get the goal of the chanting. And what is the goal of the chanting? The goal of the chanting is
love of God.
Krishna Prema, right? Love of God, Krishna Prema. So we have to try to achieve that Krishna Prema. And there's 3 identified stages in chanting the holy name. One is called Nam Aparad, which means you're chanting with offense. And the second is the intermediate stage. It's called Namabhas, or it's the shadow of the name. And then the Shuddha Nam, the pure name. So with Shuddha Nam, that's at the level of love of God. It's very pure chanting. Namabhas, at the level of Namabhas, intermediate state, we're trying to avoid offenses. We may not have succeeded it, but we're trying, we're not deliberately committing offenses. So Namabhas is also quite powerful to chant at Namabhas. Haridas Thakur, who's our Namacharya, he said if you chant at Namabhas, then you're liberated. That's at the level of liberation. You're free from the material energy. We haven't developed Krishna Prema yet, but still we're free from the material energy. It's still a way to go to get Krishna print. So Namabhas is also quite good. But in order to avoid offences, we have to know what the offences are. Right? So there are 10 offences, and the first offence is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to the chanting of the holy name. So it's very important that we have nice relationships with each other. The devotees have to get along with each other. You know, sometimes people do quarrel. This is the age of Kali, and the age of Kali is often called the age of quarrel. People argue with each other, and when they start arguing and quarreling, that they criticize each other and they find fault with each other and they commit offences. Because if you're arguing with devotees and finding fault with devotees, it's not good. So we definitely want to avoid that kind of situation. And how can we avoid offending the devotees? We can avoid it by appreciating the devotees. See the good in them. Don't find faults with the devotees. It's important for us to try to see the good in other people and see the faults in ourselves. That would make the difference, if we can do that. So, first offense is sometimes called the mad elephant offense. Because if we commit that offense, it can damage all our devotion. Just because of committing offences against devotees, that would be Vaishnav aparad. If we criticize someone because of their birth or because of some past sinful activity before becoming devotee, sometimes like that we may criticize people unjustly. So it becomes an offense. And when we offend the Vaishnavas, then it's very bad for our devotional service. And it can take up, we can give up devotional service, and we can go away from the association of devotees. And that's very unfortunate. We really don't want to do that. We don't want to lose people. They've come to Krishna consciousness. It's a lot of effort to bring people into Krishna consciousness. You know, it's not easy to make one devotee. Srila Prabhupada used to say, we have to shed gallons of blood just to bring one person into Krishna consciousness. So once they come into Krishna consciousness, we want to value them. We want to nourish them and care for them. So we don't want to criticize them and offend them. So first offense, very important. And then the second offense, to consider the names of the demigods, like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. So we know among the Hindu society, people worship many different gods. Right? Some people are worshippers of Shiva, and some people are worshippers of Kali and Ganesh and Brahma and Hanuman. There are many different people, different kinds of worship going on. So the important point to understand is that the name of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna is more powerful than any of these other names. If we think the names of the demigods is just like the name of Krishna, then that's an offense. And sometimes people do that. They do the Kali Kirtan or something, you know. They're chanting the names of different devas. But actually, Kirtan means we're meant to chant the name of the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. The worship of Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme. And the worship of other gods, even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, it can never equal the worship of Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu. And if we think the chanting of their names is equal, then that's wrong. Even among the names of Lord Vishnu, then there's different potencies among the different names. We know that the name of, there's the stotra, the Vishnu Sahasranam. Some people like to chant Vishnu Sahasranam. But in the Vishnu Sahasranam, it's said that the 1,000 names of Vishnu is equal to one name of Lord Rama. Right? It's stated there, Rame Rame Namo Rame Sahasranama Vistuyam Sri Rama Nama Viramini. And so Lord Shiva told this to his wife actually, because she was going to chant the Vishnu Sahasranam. And Lord Shiva told, just chant the name of Lord Rama. Lord Rama's name is so powerful. But then also if you read more, if you study scriptures more, you'll learn that the three names of Rama is equal to one name of Krishna. So the name of Krishna is very, very powerful. One name of Krishna is equal to 3,000 names of Vishnu. So like that, we encourage people to chant the name of Krishna. And then, third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Now Srila Prabhupada is the Shiksha Guru for all the members of ISKCON. And everyone has to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. That's very important for us to understand. That the instructions of Srila Prabhupada are meant for everyone. And we have to follow Prabhupada's instructions. And if we don't follow them, then it becomes an offense. So we want to get the benefit from the chanting. We have to understand what are the offenses and how to avoid them. The fourth offense is to blaspheme Vedic literature or any literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. This means that we have to read the books regularly. We often find people have books at home, they have a nice library, and hardly they ever touch the books. You know, it's just a display. They have the books on display, but they never read the books, you know. We want to read the books. It's important for us because we have to hear from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, I will live forever by my books. So you want to associate with Srila Prabhupada, read his books. And that will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. And there are also other books which, you know, in the Vedas, there are many Vedic books, and they don't all speak about bhakti. They don't all glorify Lord Krishna. But they're part of the Vedic culture, and they're for different people. Just like there are 18 Puranas, so there are 6 Puranas for the mode of ignorance, there are 6 for the mode of passion, and there are 6 for the mode of goodness. Of course, we read the Bhagavad Purana, because the Bhagavad Purana is the mode of pure goodness. So we encourage devotees like that and read the Bhagavad Purana. And other Puranas, we don't criticize them, don't look down on them. We have to understand there are different people. Different people have different needs. Some people are more in the mode of ignorance, some people are in the mode of passion, different. So these Puranas are meant for them. But we are cultivating the mode of goodness, pure goodness. And for us, we give all importance to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada's books. If you read Prabhupada's books, then you are safe. And don't criticize, never criticize the other Vedic literatures, but they're meant for different people. So then the fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. So this comes about because we say that one time chanting the holy name of Krishna can destroy unlimited amounts of sinful reactions. So when people hear that, they think, oh no, somebody may think, how is it possible one time chanting the Hare Krishna can destroy so many sins? Is it really possible? They may doubt that, so that's an offense. We think, if somebody thinks, so this is just imagination, it's not really so powerful, this is an offense to think like that. So we have to understand that one time chanting the holy name can destroy unlimited amounts of sin. But we have to chant with quality. If we don't chant with quality, then you won't get the effect. The quality has to be there in the chanting. And then even one time chanting, it can give so much benefit, it can destroy all the sins. So that's the fifth offense. And then the sixth offense is to give some interpretation of the holy name. So giving an interpretation of the holy name means just like the word Krishna. Now the word Krishna means black. And black we could interpret, we could say something black is very mysterious. So something very mysterious, it cannot be known. So we may say Krishna means something which cannot be known, you see. So this is giving an interpretation of the holy name. So we have to be careful that that's an offense also if we try to interpret the holy name by our own speculations. We want to hear the meaning of the holy name from the acharyas, from the pure devotees of the Lord, and they can guide us in understanding the holy name. Then the seventh offense is another important offense. It says that if we commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting, then that is an offense. Now what happens is somebody may think that, I'm going on holiday and I'm going to go with my friends and they will want to go and drink and do a lot and eat a lot of things. Anyway, I'll go with them, but anyway, I'll chant Hare Krishna more afterwards to make up for it. You see? So if we do like that, you see, that kind of chanting is not good chanting. It's an offense. To do like that, it's like an elephant bathing. And if you watch the elephants, you know, you wash the elephant, you get them nice and clean, and then after they come out of the water, they'll roll in the dirt. And we see people also, they come to the holy place, they bathe in the Ganga, and they do some puja, and they give some donations, and then they go back to their city life and do all sinful activities again. And they think, by my pious activities, I'm destroying the sinful reactions. So that is not good. It's not the proper way. And if people chant Hare Krishna like that, if they take advantage of the holy name to do sinful activities, then it's very wrong. And it won't take effect. The holy name will not protect them from sinful reactions. Even though they chanted the holy name, but because their chanting is done with the mentality that I will do sinful activity, so the mentality is there that I can do sinful activities and I won't suffer. So they're using the holy name to do sinful activities. It's very wrong. Then the eighth offense is to consider chanting Hare Krishna to be one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as karma kanda, or fruitive activity. So chanting Hare Krishna is not meant to be for some karma kandi activities. It's not meant to give you some material benefit. Karma kandi activities, we want to get some material blessings, we want some money, we want some success in something. Maybe you want a new job, or you want a new house, or you want to win a lottery, or something. And we're worshipping Krishna. Oh Krishna, help me to do this, to get what I want. So material desires can be there in Krishna consciousness, but we should understand it's not pure. That's not the real mood which we want. We want to have the pure mood in chanting Hare Krishna. And if we just simply want to get some material benefit, then that's not what Krishna wants. Krishna wants us to chant with love. We're talking about bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. And if we chant like that with devotion, then that is pleasing to Krishna. But if we're doing the chanting to get some material blessings, that's not so satisfying to Krishna. Then the ninth offense is to instruct the glories of the holy name to faithless persons. Sometimes people wonder about this ninth offense, that, we cannot instruct faithless people, then how do we preach? Well, we preach by chanting the holy name. We chant the holy name for everyone. We go in the public, we like to go in the streets, and we try to distribute the holy name to everyone. And we ask people to chant. And if they chant, they will get benefit. But we don't tell them the intimate powers of the holy name and the special features of the holy name. We just encourage them to chant. Chant Hare Krishna and eat prasada. And if they do these two things, then they can develop faith. Their faith will develop by just being in the kirtan, joining kirtan. So those two things are very important in developing a congregation, bringing new people into Krishna consciousness. We need to have a lot of kirtan, and we need to have a lot of prasadam also. These two things are very helpful in helping people become devotees. So it will help them to develop faith. If they come and hear and chant with us, then they will develop faith. And we can tell them basic knowledge like, you're not the body, you're a soul, you can't control your mind, you're struggling with your mind and senses. We can give them basic knowledge, but we don't need to tell them the special features of the holy name and the power of Lord Krishna and his intimate relationship with his devotees. That can come later, once they've got faith in Krishna. So the ninth offense, we say, if you instruct the faithless people about the glories of the holy name, that this is an offense. But we can tell them to chant, we can give them the mantra, we can give them prasada, and gradually they will develop faith. And then the 10th offense is not to have complete faith in chanting Hare Krishna and to maintain material attachment even after receiving many instructions in the matter. So maintaining material attachment, that can be a big obstacle to our progress in spiritual life. when we take up Krishna consciousness, we're declaring war on the material energy. So we don't come to Krishna consciousness to improve our material life or to have more sense gratification. But we come to Krishna consciousness, our purpose is to give pleasure to Krishna. We want to satisfy Lord Krishna. So we have to let go of the material attachments. If we're chanting Hare Krishna, but at the same time holding on to a lot of material desires, then we won't be able to progress. So we have to cultivate some detachment from the material things. And the more we become attached to Krishna, certainly, the more we will be detached from the material. It will happen automatically. And this is mentioned, of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, that just by doing devotional service, one automatically gets knowledge and detachment. So devotional service means doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. So chanting Hare Krishna, do it for Krishna's pleasure. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our great Acharya in the line of disciplic succession, he tells us also that we must be very careful when we chant, that we chant with proper attention, because if we're inattentive in our chanting, then that will be the seed of offense. If we don't chant with proper attention, then we will commit offenses in our chanting. Inattentive chanting will not help us to get Krishna prema. So we have to chant with full attention. Prabhupada said, use the tongue to chant and the ears to hear. It's not that you have to think, what will I think about, what, so many things happen, so many things are in the mind, but we have to hear. We have to hear the mantra. We have to focus on the sound of the mantra. And that will help us to get the real benefit from the chanting. So this evening we're having the first initiation. The first initiation is the most important actually. Srila Prabhupada said, by the first initiation you can go back to Godhead. Second initiation is also there, but second initiation gives you the opportunity to chant Gayatri Mantra, and it gives you a chance to do more service, right? If you're going to chant Gayatri Mantra, you have to chant another 210 mantras. Right? You chant Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day, and there are 7 mantras, and we chant each mantra 10 times, so 210 mantras, another 210 mantras every day. And so if you're struggling to chant 16 rounds, you won't want to chant another 210 mantras, right? And also, we have a requirement, it's also required for the second initiation, that you have to have completed Bhakti Shastri. You should have finished the Bhakti Shastri course. We want that the Brahmanas have some knowledge. They should know what we're doing. If you ask them who is Krishna, oh, I don't know, they just tell me to chant, I just chant. Who is Krishna? I don't know Krishna. So we want Brahmanas, they should know something about this. They should know the philosophy, and they should be able to present it to other people also. If the Brahmanas are all illiterate, then it's not very good, right? Brahmanas, they should have knowledge. That's there, it's one of the qualities of the Brahmana. Anyway, tonight we're only giving the first initiation, and then after some time, those people who are serious, they can go on for the second initiation. But the first initiation is sufficient to take you back to Godhead. Initiation is important. It's one of the principles of Bhakti Yoga, to accept initiation and serve a spiritual master. So everyone should have, people who are on the path of self-realization, they should understand the need of taking a spiritual master. And we see Lord Krishna himself had a spiritual master. He'd gone to Sandipani Muni's ashram and he stayed there for 2 months, learned everything. In the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation. Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya and took initiation from Ishwara Puri, and he transformed after that. After his initiation, after his spiritual initiation, he was transformed into an ecstatic devotee. Previously he'd been a scholar, a mundane scholar, but after his initiation, he became a great devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation, and Srila Prabhupada, our own founder Acharya, also took initiation. So it's mentioned there, and if you read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami has listed the different items of devotional service. And he mentions 5 of them in relation to a spiritual master. That it's very important to have that connection with the spiritual teacher. So we are giving the initiation today, and as this initiation is the beginning. They're connected officially to the Parampara and to Srila Prabhupada, and they're introduced as a member of ISKCON, of the ISKCON society. So that's very important, to be officially connected and accepted by the spiritual teachers and all the devotees. So that's why we have these ceremonies. We give the initiation, and tonight also we will give the spiritual name, and we will give also beads to chant on. So that's the first and the second initiation. In the future, some of the devotees will go on, get second initiation, and they will chant the Gayatri mantra. But we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra for the first initiation. And the chanting should be at least 16 rounds every day, without exception, without fail. We should finish 16 rounds. And if you cannot finish them, you don't sleep until you finish the 16 rounds, right? It's important to get the 16 rounds done every day. And some people, they chant very fast. And you know, they say, well, somebody told, they say, I can chant my rounds in an hour. I said, what? How do you manage? How can you chant 1 hour, 16? So I know Tamal Krishna Goswami had one disciple, and his disciple was saying about how fast he could chant his rounds, and he said he could finish his rounds in just over 1 hour. So Tamal Krishna Goswami told him that you chant for 2 hours. He said, I don't want you chanting just 1 hour. He said, I want to see you chant and associate with the holy name for at least 2 hours. 2 hours is like minimum period of time for meditation in a day. So we're meditating on the holy name, and we have to give proper time. Pronunciation is important when we chant the holy name. you chant it so quickly, you wonder what are they saying? No idea what's being said. So pronunciation is important, and patience is also important. You know, it's going to take time to perfect the chanting, but practice is also important. You see, both patience and practice. Lord Krishna said, abhyasena tu kunti. By practice, it's possible. So we have to. And why are we chanting? Why are we chanting 16 rounds? Well, Prabhupada said, just like teacher may say, write this word out 10 times, you know. You write it out 10 times, you memorize the spelling, you can do it correctly. And so like that, chanting Hare Krishna, we're chanting 16 rounds. That's of course a concession from Srila Prabhupada. Mother Dr. Siddhanta Saraswati, he had everyone chant 64 rounds, because 64 rounds means one lakh. 1 lakh means 100,000 names. And that's 64 rounds. So people, Bhakti Siddhanta said, unless you chant 1 lakh names, you're fallen, you're patita. So, Srila Prabhupada gave us this concession that we could just chant 16 rounds, and he asked us to be engaged the rest of the day in Krishna's service. So we encourage everyone, try to do the chanting, and especially on holy days like Ekadasi and Janmashtami, try to do more chanting. Right? So we're going to give the names here now. You can see we have the couple here, husband and wife, Dhriti Karmani and Pratik Karmani, husband and wife. They have 2 children, and they're taking initiation together. Sometimes the wife comes first, sometimes the husband comes first, sometimes they come together. So I have to ask them. First of all, you should go to the Prabhupada, go to the deities and offer obeisances. Go over there and offer obeisances. Offer it to Srila Prabhupada. When I was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in London, this was more than 50 years ago now, 1971. But when I was initiated, Prabhupada would say, you say the pranam mantra out loud. He wanted to hear that we do the pranam mantra. In those days, we didn't have a lot of testing and so on. Nowadays, much more careful about giving initiation. But Prabhupada wanted to start the movement, so he was very merciful. And if we knew the pranam mantra, he was satisfied. Okay, so we have to ask you, and you can take the vow together. What are the 4 principles you're going to follow? Right.
No meat eating, including fish and eggs. No intoxication, including tea and coffee. No illicit sex. No gambling.
Okay, and every day chanting?
Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 16 rounds.
Yeah.
That is 16,108 times.
Alright, very good. Alright, so Prabhu's name, we give you... Okay. Alright. So Pratik Prabhu, we give you the name Kadama Das. name is Karmani, right? So
Kadamba.
Kardama.
Kadamba Das Prabhu ki
Jai! And then Jyoti Mataji, we're going to give her the name. What is the name on it? She already has a nice name. Triti is name of Durga, right? I just wanted to add something. I thought it'd be nice that Dina Pavani Triti Devi Dasi. Dina Pavani Triti Devi Dasi. Dina Pavani, deliverer of the fallen. Right? So we ask the devotees to give your blessings on this couple and keep them on Krishna consciousness. That will be very nice. We welcome them into the Vaishnava community. Okay? So now we're going to go, we can go outside and do the yajna. It's already good time. The real yajna is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So everyone please chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Are there any questions, anyone? About the 10 offenses? Anyone wants to ask any question? We spoke about the 10 offenses for about 1 hour. Okay. So we'll do the yajna then.
Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna.